all Ambazonians, them, you know, any place where you there for this world, whether you there for that side for ground 1 or you there for ground 2, whether you be person where you don't cross, you reach for that side for Central African Republic or you don't reach now for Equatorial Guinea. Whether you be the one where you don't work for food, so to reach for that side for Libya, and you try for cross, for swim, for cross, maybe you try for enter for that side for Europe, at the way all na salute. Or you be an Ambazonia where you don't find your way, you cross so till you reach for that side for Latin America, or for that side for the Caribbeans, and you define your way for enter for that side for Mexico side, and then for find conshot where it will take you for enter for America. I so salute all una for una waka. For all Ambazonia, then for that side for Persian Gulf and for Middle East, we call una cafe, we say una Asia for the hustling. All Ambazonia, then for that side for China, for Japan, for Hong Kong, for Malaysia, for Singapore, even our brother then for that side for Australia, we so salute all now. Whether not the one the way the people there they did for India, or not the one the way they don't even there for that side for Pakistan, we so throw away all now salute. All Ambazonia then for this side for the continent of Europe, una good evening for all una, and then for Ambazonia the way they did for this side for North America. Una good morning for some of una because it's still in the morning time for some of una, and una good afternoon for the people there they did for Eastern Standard Time. Una good afternoon for all una. I be una brother Asu, we are the press secretary for the executive office for Governing Council of Ambazonia. That means that me I be the spokesman for the office for the leader for our War of Independence, Dr. Abacho. My fellow Ambazonians, I don't come for this evening for can give una a very big, wonderful, breaking, fat news. We don't come up for that side for Ambazonia Defense Forces, una National Liberation Army. The Ambazonia Defense Forces for the great state of Menchum. Today, they don't carry out a fat, big operation. And for that operation, where the soldier for ADF, for the great state of Menchum, they carry this operation. They take fine waka. They enter for place where they feel sing that very sweet song. They feel sing that song where all man like them. For play that better guitar and knock that better music. That gang, bam, 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 da. Today, the Ambazonia Defense Forces for the great state of Menchum, now then that, after they don't get good intelligence, they take their time, they plan a special operation. And one can give a report from the general and the commander for the field. The Ambazonia Defense Forces soldier them for the great state of Womb today. For the big attack with the carry on, they take out 4 La République du Cameroon terrorist military for inside Menchum Central. So my people, now they work this of our defense forces. Now they work this of our brave warriors. Now they work this of our forces. The mission where we don't give them for liberate the territory. For make sure say they kick La République du Cameroon terrorist occupation military out of Ambazonia. For the war where we don't give them, say may they free the land. The forces for all the 13 states. Everywhere you go, they work day and night for make sure say they dismantle Cameroon infrastructure, all their colonial infrastructure for Ambazonia. Their military security infrastructure them. Now they actually hold the occupation right now. Because as the Ambazonian people, they don't compromise and defeat Pobia. Not only their military remain. Governors, they not fit function. Parliamentarians, they not there again for Ambazonia. Senators, they not there again. 80% of their deal, they don't run. Now, not only their military remain. And our forces, the day after they are back. So, the ADF Brigade, General, we called you cafe, and all the commanders them, and the forces them, for the great state of Menchum, Unashia, for the good work. Wonderful work. We thank una plenty and we talk say courage, courage, courage. Una place day and shake, no day. Now make a take una, I go for that side for La République du Cameroon. This man, where they call it say Pobia, where the Ambazonian people don't defeat it. For the war where he said declared for the Ambazonian people. This man, where they call it Pobia, he don't launch another war against humanitarian organizations. This La République du Cameroon dictator, Pobia, he don't launch a war against the organization that they call and say Doctors Without Border. Make I put the picture for all one for here. And this for here, I put them for up here for all man for see them. Pobia don't launch a war against the international organization, where they call them Doctors Without Border. They don't launch a war against them. The terrorist dictator of La République du Cameroon, where the Ambazonian people don't defeat it, and they don't disgrace it, and they don't humiliate it. Now it don't turn as a disgraced dictator with a collapsed state. For the war we declare for the Ambazonian people, when the international community, it don't rise up for staff for hold Pobia accountable for cover up its crimes of genocide. For the colonial dictator and the collaborators them, for them for cover up their crimes of genocide and the human rights crimes them, where they commit them for Ambazonia. They know say this international organization for Doctors Without Borders, where they, I think they call them Médecins Sans Frontières. I beg, excuse me if I know talk the other one, that palaver for French fine. I think they call them Médecins Sans Frontières. I think something like that. But for English, they call and say Doctors Without Borders. Now a big international organization where for place where conflict the day or humanitarian disaster happen, these international doctors them, when a humanitarian people them, they volunteer their time, they raise money for their country, they come out, they sacrifice for go help people them, for treat people them, for cure diseases, operate people their eye, operate people their food them, carry out all kinds of operation. For places them way hospital they're not there again, clinics they're not there again. Now in that, these international organizations of medical doctors and nurses, where they don't see the war where Pobia declared for the Ambazonian people, and they talk to me they come in for those places where Pobia, a terrorist army, police, gendarmes, and bees, they don't burn down all the hospitals, burn down the clinics. Those people, they don't get access to doctors or nurses or get treatment. Or when woman, the one born, doctor get for B-Day. Or treat big mommy them. Or treat small picking them when they're sick. These doctors, they don't be for Ambazonia. For all this while, they do great work for our people then. Treat our people then. Take care of the sick. Provide humanitarian support. This colonial dictator of La République du Cameroon, because he knows say, as these doctors, they document and treat patients, that they also bear witness of the genocide. That they also bear witness of the crimes where La République du Cameroon, terrorist army, police, gendarmes, and B, that they commit them on the civilian population. Now them that, they don't come out. They kick the Doctors Without Borders out of Ambazonia for the Savannah states. They say they must come out. the Cameroon government of Paul Biya, it don't launch a war against humanitarian organizations. It talks it because they help the Ambazonian people, and therefore the more they continue to give help for the Ambazonian people then, it means that they encourage the Ambazonian resistance. It means that they support the Ambazonian quest for freedom. So Paul Biya don't kick them out of Ambazonia. This moron, this idiot, we don't create the first failed state for Africa. Now need to go now after humanitarian organizations. What they did for ground, now for do work, for provide the services. We since 1960, a country where he occupied Ambazonia, enough he build hospitals and clinic. And when humanitarian organization, they don't come in for provide basic services to a terrorized population, to a terrorized people. Now they don't can kick them out because the world don't hang for a neck. Because this generation don't rise up for put an end to their impunity, for put an end to what they don't do for the Ambazonian people since 1961. So now be not only a war against the Ambazonian people, now a war against humanitarian organizations. Now a war against people the way they stand for help, for lessen the pain on the people. Now the evil nature this of Cameroon of the colonial system. Now the evil nature this of Paul Biya. Well, you know why they do them? They don't do them because Paul Biya system knows say the end times it don't come. It knows say the end times don't come for Cameroon occupation of Ambazonia. As you don't hear, just 3 days ago, the United Nations Security Council, it don't shit on. It bring the Ambazonian matter to the table for the highest level of the international system. The government of Russia, it tell Paul Biya and Cameroon and France and England, it tell them say the palaver for Ambazonia not been a palaver of marginalization, not been a palaver of language. It tell the United Nations Security Council, it said the palaver between the war between Ambazonia and Cameroon. Now a war for a failed decolonization process. Russia tell them. And they tell them, say, any solution, it must be now for address the failed decolonization process. We not complete Ambazonia independence, and Ambazonia independence. And it not give Ambazonian people them their sovereignty for themselves. The government of Russia, it make it be very clear to the Security Council. The government of Germany, he also tell Paul Biya, he said the only way for peace for Cameroon, now for Paul Biya for get into a credible negotiation, for run negotiations, it don't start for kick out international humanitarian organizations. The world day for Paul Biya neck. Not be this time around. As our forces, they build capacity and the leadership, it mobilize Ambazonia and them globally for support the defense stabilization. Leadership go increase the international diplomatic engagement and pressure on the international system. For speed up the process, for get Cameroon, for sign the surrender agreement, for them for pack out of Ambazonia. So if Paul be like, the Ambazonian people, they never ever depend on foreign aid. Even during this wartime, when they say a section of our population with the terrorist military police and gendarmes and bees, they don't burn their farms, they burn their businesses, burn their houses, destroy their economic activities. Those part of our people then, they obviously need support. So why Paul be busy for get these people them out of our territory? We call on every single Ambazonian, especially this time where at Christmas time. We call on all Ambazonians for become more kind, for become more caring to one another. We go for filling the gap. We go for fill in the gap. We call on all Ambazonian doctors and Ambazonian nurses for step in and fill in the gap with these Doctors Without Borders. They go live on within Ambazonia in terms of the work where they be doing. We call on Ambazonians where they differ outside. We're not doctors. We're not nurses. We call upon una. We create a network where we fit the empower the doctors them and the nurses them for ground zero. We through una advice, whether not for WhatsApp or not for computer. We feed advice. We feed support. We find ways there must be, and also for volunteer, for go ground zero or use your expertise for year, for train other doctors, provide the training online. If it not be possible, because because the ground of the insecurity, provide online training, provide online advice. How the fit do certain operation them, how the fit cure, how the fit give certain treatments for this kind of condition them. For our general population, now Christmas time this, make we show love, especially for our people then for ground zero. Make we become more compassionate, for understand the plight and the suffering of our people to be severely affected. Even if you don't get family from Ambazonia, this Christmas, find a family, sponsor them, support them, give them hope. This week, we're going to launch a program for feed the soldiers for this Christmas. For all Ambazonians and for diaspora. For make sure, say, for all the great work we were soldiers they did one. We'll make sure, say, at least for this Christmas too, they get something to eat while they battle the enemy. And so we encourage all Ambazonians for support, especially the Aya Foundation. We don't see good work with the Aya Foundation they do for Ground Zero. For care for our people there. Today, I think they be there for the great state of Coupe. The Aya Foundation be there for Coupe, for divide chop, for all the people that need chop. For divide things like mask, hand sanitizer, pad for women them, clothes for small picking them. Now a humanitarian organization that make us support them for the work where they do and for our people then. Also, for individual level, look your community organization where if you make a big difference for make sure say our people within various communities, especially our refugee communities then, for Nigeria. When I reach out, your $10, your $50, your $100, it will make a significant difference for give hope for our people then. Now I appeal that we'll be a loving and a caring people, even during the toughest of time. Now the time that we need for care more, so that we give people the hope and the confidence for be resilient, for stay committed, for stay determined, for stay hopeful, for belief. Because the freedom will come. We'll be very close. We'll be very near. The general they carry out for implement the defense stabilization plan for Ground Zero. All the generals that work day and night for implement the defense stabilization for Ground Zero. So why we appeal for all man for show caring and kindness for this Christmas season. Now 2 acts of kindness are the appeal for all Ambazonians and for sure. Number 1, acts of kindness for give and support our people them in terms of chop, medicine, and small things that our people that need them. Secondly, every Ambazonia for make your commitment to the defense stabilization of homeland. For every Ambazonia for make a commitment to the defense stabilization of homeland. The independence where the thief and for the Ambazonian people then. They don't declare that independence, restore that independence. For 2017, that independence, it don't be reaffirmed by Siseko Julius Tabe Ayok. This generation, it did defend that independence. Would it defend the independence? Would they declare them, they restore, and then they reaffirm them? Now that independence, this generation, it did defend them. And now the responsibility this for this generation. Now for defend the independence. We don't get reports. Say since we'll be sent out warnings to all chiefs and funds and warn all the councillors. Say any man will go against the Ambazonian people, the aspiration, and he collaborate with La République du Cameroon. He collaborate with Pobia for carry out foreign imposed election, for keep Ambazonian people under occupation, for legitimize occupation, colonialism and annexation, and genocide for Ambazonia. The Ambazonian forces, they go take actions for preserve the integrity of the Ambazonian people then, and for and for carry out actions for preserve the sovereignty of the state of Ambazonia. Since Paul Biya election, we don't get report. Say the defense forces them all across the 13 states. I think so far they don't kill four chiefs and fawns. So far, from the intelligence and report, who would get them? Not been a joking matter. The general, it be sent a clear warning for all the fawns and all the chiefs. He say any man will violate the laws of the Ambazonian people then. For sell Ambazonia to La République du Cameroon, the people they will rise up. And throughout history, the punishment of treason and betrayal as a traitor, the punishment it don't always been a death. The Ambazonian people, they follow that international custom for deal with enablers, traitors, and collaborators of genocide, of colonialism, and of occupation. This generation will compromise. The independence must be defended by all means necessary. Now the messages for today. The leader for a war of independence, Dr. Ayabacho, today, it don't make a big talk where the newswoman, Madame Cecilia, it go reveal the message where the leader don't send them to the international community and to the Ambazonian people there. And the message where he also send them for enablers, traitors, and collaborators. That news, it will come at exactly 9 p.m. Amber. So only 5 minutes remain. Make we leave the talk for you for today. In the next 5 minutes, our sister, Madam Secretary for Human Rights and Humanitarian Affairs, when I be one of the news anchor them for ACN, he could bring one of that breaking news from the leader in office directly. All right. So make we leave on so that the people them for TV, they prepare the space for the 9 p.m. news. And they talk this one bring them for one today. Will they talk for one tomorrow? Also within this week, I think said the leader, the deputy defense chief for the Ambazonia Defense Forces Ambazonia Defense Forces, Comrade Capo Daniel, and myself, we go to come out for talk with the Ambazonian people them about a lot of things and also for the stabilization plan. All right. So we wanna stay well. May God bless all now. We wanna get a good night as always. We love una plenty and we send una our greetings and blessing. When I get a good night.
Welcome to ACN.